So Google has just released this Firebase Studio. This is a web-based AI code editor, just like Lovable and bolt.new. If you remember Project IDX, I created actually a couple of videos about Project IDX. So now Google have changed their name from Project IDX to Firebase Studio. If you don't know about Firebase, so Firebase is actually a backend development platform by Google. But this entire rebranding thing is a bit shocking to me because Firebase itself was and still is a really good backend development platform, especially for mobile apps. So I think looking at the popularity of these web-based AI code editors, something like bolt.new and lovable.dev, and especially their built-in integration with Supabase, so Google now is actually introducing their own complete platform that has everything right under one roof, where we can actually build complete full stack applications without needing any other platform. But the problem is, last time when I tried Project IDX, I was not really impressed by its performance. So let's just try this now and see how much they have improved in terms of performance and features. I think personally my only reason to use Firebase Studio should be to develop native mobile applications, native Android applications, because in Project IDX, Google actually tried to create that entire native Android Studio experience inside web. That was something revolutionary, because if you have tried creating something using Android Studio, so first of all, like the installation of Android Studio and then installation of all of the packages and having the first Hello World project run, it's kind of a hassle. So if Google has like solved that problem and like created a better user experience in web, so I think it's a really good step. So before we dive deep into this video, please just subscribe to this YouTube channel and click on that like button as well. Our goal for today's video is to reach 1000 likes. So please, to support this channel, click on that like button. Alright, so currently you can use Firebase Studio absolutely for free. Simply just go to firebase.google.com and just click on this get started button. And from here, it will redirect you. Make sure that you are logged in with your Google account. And after that, it will just redirect you to this page that has this kind of very nice landing page. From here, just click on this try Firebase Studio. And it will just open this interface, which is studio.firebase.google.com. But in here, you can see all of my old projects that I created inside Project IDX. I can still find all of those projects in here. So that means the core functionalities of Firebase Studio are still like Project IDX. Alright, so from here you can simply just give a prompt or maybe just choose one of these templates from here. So right now you can see you can build something in Python, you can build something in Java, .NET, in Android Studio Cloud. So that's what they're actually calling the web version of the Android Studio. Then there is Flutter. So Flutter is also supported. So if you don't know about Flutter, Flutter is like a cross-platform app development platform, which is just like React Native, but less popular actually. Also, you can build Angular projects. You can of course build Next.js projects and of course Node Express and Gemini API and then GenKit. There is also support for Astro, for MongoDB, and of course for React Native Expo. So that means you can not only build full stack web apps, but also mobile apps as well. I'm really interested in trying this Android Studio Cloud. So let me just give it a prompt. I want to generate a recipe app. Please create 8 different ways of making octopus in Chinese style. Alright, so if any one of you have watched Silicon Valley, so this was actually Jin Yang's idea. So I'm just going to replicate that. So let me just click on this prototype with AI and press on that and see. Okay, so right now we are out of capacity. Oh my goodness. Okay, fine. All right, let's just try to continue with Android Studio Cloud. Let me just click on that and let me just name this app as Name Your Workplace. I will name it EMC Create, and now it is just setting up this Android Studio workspace. I have developed native Android apps in Android Studio like long time ago, but I just want to see that how much different the experience in here is, because if you're used to using these modern tools, something like bolt.new and something like lovable.dev, so you don't know the actual pain of setting up environment for Android Studio and actually creating a Hello World project and then running that on an Android simulator and then connecting a device with a computer and then running it through a USB cable on a mobile phone. It used to be a big hassle. You have no idea. Okay, so after a couple of minutes, it has just loaded this screen. And in here it is asking for me to see text and images copied to the clipboard. Just allow. After that, it is asking me for a send usage statics to Google, this permission. Okay, so I'll just click on that and now it is loading this Android Studio. Perfect. I mean, this is exactly similar to what we have Android Studio on Android Studio native. So this is like absolutely similar to that. From here you can simply just clone a repository or maybe just create a new project. So I'll just simply click on this create a new project, and from here let's just try to create something. Like choose this template, click on next. Honestly, this is like 100% similar to the Android Studio native experience. So if you're an actual developer, not a vibe coder, so you will actually love this. So I just call it recipe app, click on finish. And by the way, it is going to save this app in this location. After that, you can simply just choose this minimum SDK level. So I think API 24 is good enough, because it supports around 97.4% 100% of devices. Just click on finish. And now it will create a project, an Android Studio project. And just like that, it has created this Android Studio project. Now in here, the interface is a bit different than the native Android Studio, but still the overall experience is very similar. This is not something like bolt.new or lovable.dev. This is a very different IDE experience actually. So it's a very different experience. But for now, Project IDX is actually free to use. You can use Gemini 2.5 API key, and of course you'll have to pay for that. But overall, there is no kind of subscription for Project IDX, Firebase Studio. You can see the overall experience is slow, just like Android Studio. Everything takes time. It takes a lot of time for this Gradle project and all of this, a lot of other dependencies and a lot of other SDK requirements that native Android apps have. So it takes a lot of time, and the experience is comparatively, of course, slow. I think meanwhile, let's just try to create maybe a basic React app or maybe a Next.js app. So let's just try to create something else and then wait for it to load. So the overall experience so far is still similar to Project IDX. They have not changed too many of the functionalities. Everything is kind of similar to Project IDX. So let's just go back to firebase.google.com, click on get started, try Firebase Studio. From here, let's just try to create a basic Next.js app, recipe app. I'll call my workspace TMC. After that, should I use TypeScript? Yes, of course. Use a source directory? Yes, of course. Use ESLint? Yes. Use app router. So whenever we run that command to create an empty Next.js project, so all of the options that we are asked, so those options are actually, you can answer them right here. So the experience is comparatively different here. Alright, so you can simply just click on this create, and we are using Tailwind CSS, we are using app router, we are using the app directory, source directory. So all of that, we are using that. So let's just see the experience for the Next.js, because the experience for Android Studio is comparatively slow. Okay, so already it has loaded already. Perfect. And we can see, this is our content underscore main.xml file. So if you don't know about XML or XAML, so that's kind of an old stuff now. So, but yeah, you can just start building from here. I'm really actually trying to integrate Gemini 2.5 with it and then try to write some code with it. But let's just wait for this Next.js app first. So Next.js app is also still loading. The reason actually I'm showing you all of these things side by side and in real time, so you can actually have an idea that how slow this tool is. So it's different. Just do not consider that this is something like Lovable. So Lovable is just amazing. So Lovable is, you can just build something in seconds, and similarly in bolt.new. So Firebase Studio is a different experience. This is comparatively a different experience. So you can see right now it has created this empty Next.js project, and the interface overall is very similar to VS Code, or if you're a user of Cursor, so it is very similar to Cursor. So this is our empty Android app, and this is our empty Next.js app. I think right now it is just installing all of the packages. So let's just wait for that. And meanwhile, let me just go to this Gemini tab in here inside this Android Studio app. Simply just click on this Gemini tab. From here, log into Google, and we have just logged into Google. It has its own browser. Nice. Very refreshing. Okay, fine. I'm not going to provide my password in here, but this is not a good user experience, but yeah. So I'm actually required to enter my email and password again. Let me just try that, do that, and then I resume this video. Okay, I'm stuck at this pass key. So I'm required actually to enter this pass key, but I'm just stuck at here because my security key is not on a physical USB. So anyways, okay, let me just cancel that and try to verify it again. Finally, I managed to log in, and now I can simply just click on this allow. And now the Android Studio's built-in browser will have access to my Gmail. If you have not used Android Studio 10 years ago, I mean, you cannot spot a difference, but literally, I mean, the experience is exactly same. So now I'm actually required to log into Firebase, and from here, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but yeah, I'm stuck. So it's authorized. I'll just simply click on, so inside here, inside this Gemini panel, it's authorized, and from here I'll simply just click on this next button. From here there is a privacy notice. I'll just click on next, enter, next, use context from projects to improve responses, finish. All right, can you remind me to go? Okay, fine. Let's just try to give it prompt. I cannot do my speech to text in here, so I'll have to type. Okay, fine. Thank you, Google. I'm finally back to 2015, literally. There was no difference between, I mean, the only difference is that was actually on my laptop, and now it is on web browser. So I'm developing a recipe app in Android Studio. Please create the interface. So now it has started writing code. Let's see how efficient it is. So let's suppose if you have like spent 10-15 minutes already to set up an empty project, and now let's just see if it will be capable of writing something and creating some code. So it has just created these different components. These are the XML files. So it has created all of these different layout components, but still we need to like update our home screen and then like add this layout on our home screen. I'm so used to like using this speech to text, but it just doesn't work in here. Alright, meanwhile, let's just have a look at our Next.js project. So right now you can see it has created an empty Next.js project. All of the dependencies are installed and the interface is very similar to, of course, Visual Studio. And from here you can actually add your Gemini API. You can simply just click on this and it can create and it can grant you access to like have access to Gemini API. And from there you can just like start using Gemini right in here. Create a basic landing page, press enter, and now let's see if it can create a very basic landing page. Alright, so it has updated our page.tsx file and I can simply just update our file in here. So now let's just click on web. The design is still not updated. Let me just go to my project directory, page.tsx. This is our project. So it's a very basic layout. Let's just ask you to create different components and then import those components into this page. Please create different components for our landing page and then import those components in our main page. Okay, so now what components would you like to? Okay, fine, it needs too many. Create a header component, then create a hero component. For now, let's just create these two components and then import both of these components inside page.tsx file. Would you like to create these components? For example, should they be in components directory with source app directory? Okay, oh my goodness, this is too basic. Okay, yes, the components should be in source/app directory. Another question to clarify, should the components be directly inside source/app directory or within the components subdirectory? The components should be in this directory. So the experience is not something like bolt.new or something like Cursor, but yeah, I mean, if you are a programmer, if you're a like developer who likes to like manually write code, so amazing, this is amazing for you. But if you're someone who is used to of the vibe coding, this can be a bit frustrating. So, but it still is super helpful. I mean, this is good. It actually gives you the entire Visual Studio experience right inside your browser. So now it has created these two components. One is hero section, another one is header section. So I asked for header, but it heard it as hydro, but that's fine. My mistake. Then it imported both of these components into this page.tsx file. Import hero in here, and then imports hydro that in here. So both of the layouts are added in here. And if I reload in here, you can see both of these components in here. So this is the hydro component. Then there is a octopus recipe, 8 different delicious ways. Discover a variety of cooking methods to separate tender flavor octopus. Fine. All right, cool. This is good. Fine. So yeah, the user experience is different than the existing web-based AI code editors. So if your expectations are something like bolt.new or lovable.dev, this is completely different. This is actually more like a proper IDE experience, something like Visual Studio, something like Cursor maybe. But overall, it's a good step by Google. But still, the experience is not what is trending right now. So you cannot call Project IDX the bolt.new killer or lovable.dev killer. Both of these are different. I cannot use Claude Sonnet 3.7 because that's what I love. But yeah, still, I mean, Gemini 2.5 is good enough as well. Just give it a try and let me know in comment sections. I see you next video. Bye bye.